Hey guys, God bless y'all. I just wanted to hop on here and tell you about these 4 rapture dreams that I've had recently. And I didn't think it was a big deal until like all over my For You page it's just been talking about the rapture and like the rapture dreams and how the end times are near. And now thinking about it, I'm just like, yeah, the end times are definitely near. So let me just tell you some of the things that I saw in my 4 dreams. And also, I know this was a confirmation that God wanted me to do because I was praying about this a couple days ago, and I got another rapture dream, which was today. Okay, so the first one, what happened, me and my family, we were at a carnival, right? And then we were getting off the carnival. We went to my grandma's house, right? And everything was normal and things like that. But then all of a sudden, like, the weather changed, like, in some weird way. Like, the sky was blue and, like, grayish in a way, right? And then I was confused at it, and then like there was rain pouring, and then not like pouring hard, but it was just like, you know, little droplets, right? And then the wind was strong, and when I mean the wind was strong, I mean this wind was literally trembling my grandma's apartment, like literally shaking up everything, right? And we were all scared or whatever, right? And I was checking through my phone being like, what is happening, right? And in my phone apparently said a Wednesday, right? And then after Wednesday it didn't say what the weather was gonna be after those days, and I was confused. I was like, what, right? And then in the bottom of it, all I remember said something sin, and sin was in red and bold printed, and I don't remember what the sentence was, so I'm pretty pissed about that. But I remember that in the news it was just like, everyone take cover, everyone stay calm, that they don't know what is going on, that it's probably a natural disaster, but everyone to stay calm, right? And so me and my family went outside, right? And while we were going outside, I was like confused. I was just like, is this the rapture? Is this the rapture? Like in my head it kept playing that, like, is this the rapture? Is this the rapture, right? And then while we went outside, in the sky we saw that there was like this light oval or like circle thing that was going on, right? And it was spinning. And then all I remember, I was just like panicking about it, right? And then this like light fireball or something like that, right, was coming down to the ground. And literally I just turned to my parents and I told them like, I love you guys. That's literally all I told them. I said, I love you guys. And I went down on my knees and I started praying. And then once that thing hit, everything exploded. And when I mean everything exploded, I mean the grounds were cracked, the cars were flying, people were floating, not floating, but they were flying, like they're like bouncing off, right? And then all I remember is that my ears were ringing for a second, and then it went silent, and all I heard was, this is what Jesus wants to say, this is what Jesus wants to tell you. And for me, since I was in a panic mode in my dream, I was just like, what is it, Jesus? What is it that you want to tell me, right? And then I was just like, wait, is it the rapture that you want to tell me about, right? And then I woke up, and I didn't wake up, I was still in the dream, but I disappeared from like that thinking thought in my dream. And then I woke up and I was still in earth for some reason. And for some reason there was like creatures and humans there, but the humans gave you an off vibe and the creatures there did not. I don't know. I remember like these creatures that were eating dust from the ground, and for some reason I just thought back from Genesis, being how the Lord was like, from dust I made you, and from dust you shall return, or something like that. You know, like we were made out of dust, and once we die we're gonna become dust again, right? So that, right? And literally it was just an off vibe that was going on, and all I remember is that half of my family members were there and half of my family members did get raptured. Okay, so now the fourth dream. I'm gonna get to the second and the third dream at last because they're the most shortest one. But my fourth dream, it was today, and this one scared me. I'm telling you, this one scared me. All right, so basically me and my cousins, we were all in like this little garden and whatever, right? And then there was like this big old tree, like this really huge tree, right? And I decided to climb on it, right? And then out of nowhere, Jesus appeared, and I don't know, like I don't know how to say it in a way, because you know like there's photos of like Jesus and everything, but no one really truly knows how he looks like. So he just looked like off from a picture, off from a portrait or a photo and things like that. And then I wasn't sure what to say about it, but all I remember is that he told us and my cousins, he was just like, do not tell anyone that I came here or nor of my presence, that you saw me, right? And for some reason I forgot that he told me that, because once I saw my parents, I told them, like, I was just like, I saw Jesus, right? And then I remember I was gonna bring them to him, but then out of nowhere he disappeared. Like he literally went poof, like everything went like white and yellow. He went poof, like literally. And I was like, what, right? And then my cousins got mad, and then they were like, Rochelle, why did you tell them? And I was just like, what do you mean? I'm confused. And then that's when I remember he told me specifically not to tell no one, and I got so mad at myself, and I was in shock, and I was in panic, and I was just scared, because I was just like, how did I forget that, right? And then while that was happening, after a few moments later of me and my cousin were arguing about it, we hear like this thunder, right? We thought it was a thunder, okay? But it wasn't a thunder. Like, you know how thunder just goes and that's it? But no, this thunder was like forever, and I was confused. So then me and my mom, we went outside, and we were still at my grandmother's house. We went outside, right? And then there was a helicopter that was flying on top of us, and I just thought, like, me and my mom just thought it was a helicopter. We were like, oh, it's probably the helicopter, it's fine. I turned my head the other way, and there is angels in the sky. They were huge, and they were the most lightest things I've ever seen. And I was just happy to see them, honestly. And like, I'm sorry, I was just happy to see them. And there was like literally angels in the sky. Like from a distance, like they're like, from a distance they're like this big, bigger than a star. But you know, like if you see them up close, they would be like, I don't know, like 10 feet high and things like that. Like they were tall, right? And they were all like so bright, and like they all had like wings around them, right? And they were all just in a group, right? One of them was in a group, then another one was in a group, and they were all surrounded there. And I think the helicopters thought they were aliens, because they were trying to, like, you know, like shoo them away at some point, right? And then I told them, I'm just like, yo, it's the rapture, it's the angels, like the angels are here, right? And then my mom told me to shut up, because like she was just like, don't be scaring no one. And I'm just like, I'm not scaring no one, it's like, it's time. And then after a few moments, they started separating, and then they started coming to the ground, and they started taking people. So whoever they grabbed, whoever they touched, whoever they were next to, those people, they would literally go poof, and then they would turn into like this white light bulb, as shining as they were, and they would literally ascend to heaven. And then while I was seeing that, I was so scared, and I was literally on my knees, and I was crying, and I just really wanted to be saved. And like the thing is that, like once the angels and the people were going, like it's like the sky, like for some reason the sky started getting like more darker and darker and darker, right? And then after like these 3 angels left, it shut, and I stayed, and that terrified me so much. And I was crying, and I was being like, God, why? And I was crying and bawling my eyes out, and I was just in this hopelessness, and I was just thinking about my past, being like, I could have done this, and like in my past, in my dream, I was thinking about how I should have recorded that I saw the rapture coming. That's what I was thinking in my dream. I was like, I should have recorded that I saw the rapture coming. And so I'm doing this right now, right? But aside from that though, I was just crying. I was just so hopeless. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, everyone started going just insane, and there was demons roaming around, and these demons disguised themselves as humans. Even your own family, there was these 2 people that tried to kill me. One of them was my family member, and my other one was my other family member. But this one, I knew this wasn't exactly my family member, because it was like literally from a vibe from that, I'm just like, that is not how they would act. That is a straight up demon. And literally all I remember is that they were out to come kill me, and I was literally so afraid. And all I remember is that this demon literally grabbed a knife, and he slashed my throat, and all I remember was the blood pouring out of my body. But then I didn't die. I thought I was gonna die, but I didn't die. And then out of nowhere, everything went like normal, like everything was just like rewinding back to like its normalness, right? And then all I saw was that my whole slash here, it just turned to a scar. But the thing is that there was a mirror that was right in front of me, and in my forehead it said 666, and that's I was completely done. I was sobbing my eyes, because I'm just like, what the hell is this, right? And I was all red, and I felt my veins were popping out. I felt my veins, and I was all red and everything like that, right? But like, since like the whole thing was rewinding for some reason, once I rewind, everything was gone. Like I was like back to normal. I didn't have that 666 on my forehead, but the thing that was still there was the scar on my neck, right? And then everything was normal, and as like any normal day would go, right? And then I saw my mom again, and then I'm just like, Mom, what about the rapture? What's going on? And then she told me, she was like, what rapture? Nothing happened. All right. And in my second and my third dream, it was literally also like angels just descending from heaven, and also us trying to like move away or like disguise ourselves to try to run away from the rapture, but obviously we couldn't have. So if you've been looking for a sign, if you should get right with God or any confirmation, I believe this is your sign, because this was terrible. It was terrible. And just please get right with God. Repent for your sins. Anyways, God bless y'all. Mwah.